Long time no see. So I figured we'd just kind of open up a bunch of random shit tonight because I've got so much different stuff. What's up, Pipe Castano? What's up, Cardboard Openings? Let me get my chat popped out here. What's up, Stampa? What's up, Ernesto? So I've got a bunch of random stuff I've had sitting around. I figured we'd do some Chromie, we'd do some Topps Chrome, we could do a first edition release event box. I've got Magicast, I've got 30th anniversary, I've got some possibly the correct deck of cards that has the holographics in it. I'll show you guys that in a second. But I actually did just get a message from Argos before I went live here. And Argos just sent me a screenshot that it looks like Bear Walker had already made a whole second wave of Metazoo boards with Wendigo, Cumberland Dragon, and it looks like one of the native characters. I can't even tell what that one is. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. But it looks like Metazoo screwed over Bear Walker. It looks like Bear Walker made a whole nother wave of boards, and they had no idea about Metazoo going out of business. I guess they did a follow up tweet. Let me see what they said. I'll read it to you guys. He sent me another screenshot. Bear Walker responded to somebody and said, "Thank you. I know a lot of people lost out on their money buying stuff from them that will never be fulfilled, but we made a series 2 with no heads up that they were ever going out of business." So it looks like they've got a whole set of series 2 boards. Do you think if we reach out, Bear Walker will sell us some? I'm sure they're planning on trying to find a way to sell them because it looks like, based on the tweets, they've already been made. So the money's already lost. They're not just going to destroy them, I would assume. And this is another theory. I was talking to Chris on the phone before I got on here, and Chris was saying, we were talking about, all the different people that Metazoo owes money. And Chris said, well, if they really do owe their printers money, is there a chance that the printer is sitting on something that they printed that Metazoo never paid them for? And then if Metazoo does file for bankruptcy, in theory, the printer could sell that stuff to try to recoup their losses when Metazoo files for bankruptcy, rather than just destroy everything they printed. But I'm sure it's just a waiting game of what's going to happen with Metazoo before they do something like that, because we know they owe the printers money. We don't know how much, and we don't know. I have heard that there's stuff printed that wasn't paid for, so they could be sitting on a bunch of native boxes. They could be sitting on legacy. And God only knows what else Metazoo didn't pay for. But that is a good point. If they do file for bankruptcy, Metazoo, in theory, when that's done, the printer could sell that product. So it could be a similar situation with Bear Walker. Maybe they got to wait until Metazoo officially files to just sell it. And they're probably going to sell it cheap, I would imagine. And another little interesting tidbit, some of you guys may have seen, a couple of the artists last week, well, I guess it was this week, sent me pictures that in the mail this week, I think all of the artists got one. They got a staff medal this week from Shaw. They got like here, I'll show you a picture of that too. They got like a staff medal card, which is weird considering this was after they were all let go and fired. I guess it was like a final parting gift maybe from Shaw, since he sounds like he might be the only good guy involved. Let me see if I saved one of the pictures. But yeah, I know I haven't really streamed or made any videos this week. There haven't really been any new developments, unfortunately, and it seems like it might be that way for a while. Okay, here's the screenshot. This is the one that Lily posted. So they sent these out to all the staff this week after everybody quit. Or not quit, but they were let go. You don't just want to stream because you missed it? That's exactly why I'm streaming. I just got this news about Bear Walker as I was setting up the stream. I was going to stream anyway, but so let's do. I want to do these playing cards first and see if I'm right, because from what I understand, there are two variations of the gilded playing card. So this was the one that I opened last week on stream, and people were not sure how to tell. Like they said different things. There's like a marking on the box, and people said they're not sure exactly how to tell the difference between the in-house print and then the print that everybody else got. But if you notice, because I bought these from I bought these from a TCG player seller, and instead of 2 Cryptid Nation, they sent me 2 Nightfall. I opened one of those Cryptid Nation last week on stream, and it has a rainbow colored star. They sent me 2 replacements, and it's a different colored star. So we'll see if it's what I want it to be, but I honestly don't know the difference. Like some of these, you just get like a shiny coated card as your hit, and then some of them you get like a full hollow foil card. And the distinction like isn't very clear to me what that distinction is, but I think these might be the gilded decks, or maybe they're just fucking regular decks. We'll see. We'll find out. Yes, we're drinking tonight. It's one of them nights, so I'm sure it's going to be a fun one. So we'll find out. For all I know, they fucked up and sent me an ungilded deck, which is probably what they did. All I know is there's a different color star. Oh, I haven't drank probably since the last stream. And what was that, a week and a half ago? A week ago? So hopefully these are gilded with a full hollow in them, but I guess we'll find out in a second. Those scissors were not as sharp as I thought they were going to be. Oh, they are gilded. Okay. I'm giving you a hard time. You've seen my comments in the previous dead streams. Hey, thanks, Damien. I don't recognize the name. It looks like a new person. But thank you for the $5 donation, bro. I appreciate that, man. Aaron says he hasn't drank in 8 years or so. He used to drink every day. That's good, man. I'm proud of you. I'm sure I'll get to a point where I never want to drink and I'll try to go years without it. But right now, I still enjoy it. Chatrus is right. They are gilded, just the original versus the Metazoo made ones. That's my question. How do you know the difference? Wait, someone said the red gilding is pretty cool. Like, all I can tell is one of these has a rainbow star, which I'm assuming is the one that had the regular, like, just glossy, shiny coat on the rare card, and one has a regular star. No faded spade on the newer boxes. Talking about this? I don't know. It's probably the exact same fucking thing. We'll find out. I was looking on eBay trying to find the ones that had the good ones in it. The full, like, foil ones. But I just can't tell the fucking difference on most of these eBay listings. That Mothman will never get old. You know what? Let me get some sleeves. I'm gonna sleeve that up because I don't have a gilded Mothman yet. Those red borders do look pretty cool. Thank you, Legendary Rips, for the $2 donation. I appreciate that, man. They do look cool as a deck. How old are you again, Aaron? If you don't mind me asking, and you haven't been drinking for 8 years. What if this one doesn't have any any hit in it at all? Nice frog, man. Bigfoot. 35. Nice, bro. That's a young age to have not drank in 8 years. That's good. That's awesome, dude. Yeah, each of them should have one random hollow card, but there's two different types of hollow card. And I'm sure we'll see in a second. Okay, so it's the same shit. So this is the hit, which is just like a. So I wonder. So yeah, I don't know, man. So there's cards where there's no white, and it's just a full hollow card. And there's cards with like this rainbow gloss on them. I don't know, man. So I wonder what. What's up, Mike? Okay, so that was that one. So that was the one that had the regular star on it. We'll just put these back in. I'm sure there probably is a YouTube video on it. All right, so that was just a regular yellow star. Let's do the rainbow star and see what the fuck the difference is here. The decks you're looking for are wrapped in Metazoo labeled wrapping, like the booster boxes. Oh, okay. I just haven't seen very many eBay listings where they make the distinction. They'll just say a gilded deck and use like a stock image because they're usually selling more than one. All right, come on, you piece of shit. So I guess the difference is these are. I guess that would be a rain. I guess that's the difference. These are like a rainbow gilding. All right, let's see what we got in here. I'll sleeve up the gilded Mothman in this one too. Someone say what the Bear Walker news was. It sounds like Bear Walker printed an entire second series of boards, and they had no idea Metazoo was going out of business. Of course, we got a Lizard Man is our hit. Okay. So again, underwhelming with these decks. But yeah, Bear Walker put out some tweets. Argos just sent me the screenshots before I started this stream that this was they had no idea Metazoo was going out of business, and they made a whole second set of decks. That's what we were talking about when I started the stream. I think that Bear Walker is also going to have to wait for Metazoo to file for bankruptcy or whatever exactly is happening with them before they can just sell the decks themselves, because it's Metazoo's IP still. What's up, Argos? Yeah, Argos just sent me that screenshot before I started, but it should be interesting. So I don't think we'll open any more of these decks. They're disappointing me. We'll do a release event box though for first edition. Actually, no. Let's do a Chrome. But yeah, it looked like in the second series of Bear Walker, it looked like there was Nightfall, Wilderness, and I think that other one was a native character. I forget the name of it though. I'll show you the screenshot again. I don't know how well you guys can see that or not. It looks good on the camera, but I think that character, I forget the name of that one down there, but I think that's native. So the second series looks like it encapsulates Wilderness, Nightfall, and Native. So who knows? Maybe we'll get it. Maybe it's still incomplete. He said in the tweet they finished it though. Yeah, what's up, Metazoo Menace? Do you ever get a what's the point feeling with Chrome now that you've owned/sold the biggest card? Not really. I mean, there's still some cards that I don't have. Like I want to get a Black Refractor Mothman. I don't have one of those. I've got the whole Mothman Rainbow except for that. I'd love to get another orange moth. Well, you can't get one out of here, but and there's still another one of one out there somewhere apparently. The third one of one has never been pulled, so we could pull another one and sell that. Actually, I might keep it if I pulled it because it's the Cryptid Cam, and the Cryptid Cam is my favorite variation. And I still don't have the X Fractor Mothman, the original art in a PSA 10. I keep getting 9s. Like this version, the X Fractor, I don't have that. Nice, a Frogman. And I still like collecting binders of these Topps Chrome cards. Chrome is just always, to me, one of the most fun sets to open. I've got a binder for just the Cryptid Cam cards. I've got a binder for just I've got multiple binders for just refractors. I've got binders for just X-Fractors. I've got complete binder sets. I've got binders of serialized cards. I got all kinds of Chrome shit. It's fun to collect, and there's so many different ways to collect Chrome. I saw a comment somewhere that Mike actually did purchase his one of one. Oh, where'd you see that? That's it. That's actually pretty interesting. Plus, I think I only paid retail for these. I think I paid $20 a blaster, so it's not like I broke the bank on these. And White Fang X-Fractor, Rainbow Wizard Refractor. I think one of the best deals I picked up a couple days ago is I found someone was selling 5. I haven't opened up very many of these. There were 5 eBay Wilderness boxes. And I think it was $119 for all 5, so like $20 a piece. So I thought that was, you can't really beat $20 for a booster box, even though there's only 10 packs in the eBay ones. So I picked up that. I picked up some more Wilderness boxes at $18 a piece. Ernesto, were you the one selling them? Oh, you were watching it. It's a very personal question, but my brain is wondering how much you've invested overall into the zoo. So we talked about this once on a stream, and I wouldn't call it investing, but I'd say over the 4 years that I've been collecting Metazoo, I probably spent, I would say maybe $25,000 per year, and I'd say at the most, I may have lost 5 to 10,000 per year at the end of. I don't even know, man. No, there's no way I've lost $40,000. I'm probably out like $15,000 or $20,000 at the end of it. But am I really out because I had fun opening it, and that was kind of the whole point. And I still got a huge collection of shit. I've got all kinds of sealed shit. I've got hundreds of slabs. So I don't even know if I would consider it a loss, but I made a lot of that money back selling stuff. So when I say I spent 100 grand over 4 years potentially, I sold a lot of shit to make that money back. Because there was one point at like the peak of it, well, for most of it really, every stream I did, every opening I did, I would grade all the hits from like every stream and do like weekly PSA submissions. And then I'd sell most of those submissions. I'd make a little bit of profit on them and keep a couple cards. And I did that for a while. And hell, before I hopped on this stream, I was talking to Chris and we were talking about Wilderness when Wilderness first came out. And we were selling like Wilderness PSA 10s, like a PSA 10 Snipe or a PSA 10 Awful or Bigfoot for 150 to 200 bucks for a while after the release of Wilderness. And now they're like 25, 30 bucks in a PSA 10. So we were selling into the market when it was good, even though a lot of people are selling most of their stuff now that it's bad. Yeah, I'm including the grading fees, which were really just a tax write-off at the end of the day, because that was like the essential part of my eBay business. Was I sell mostly graded cards, and that's about it. Maybe a couple singles here and there that are ungraded if they're like a $50 card, but all right, let's do a release event box here for first edition. I was gonna do a whole box of first edition tonight, but I got so many boxes of stuff that I want to open. We'll save the first edition for another stream. Thank you for linking my eBay, Greg. Thank you, Monty owes a ribeye. I should have brought my knife in here. These scissors suck with these seals. Oh yeah, is this the rule book that has at the very end, Metazoo could disappear forever? Wasn't there something with the rule books where they said at the very end, Metazoo could... Oh yeah. This may be the case for Metazoo as well. Many TCGs are an immediate death sentence to a new gaming company, and more often than not are dead on arrival. This may be the case for Metazoo as well, but I have faith to the community that has grown since our inception and continues to grow. I saw people talking about this, like they warned us from the beginning at the very end of these. Got a Wahila. Yeah, it's like a fucking, like a fortune cookie. Karmic retribution. They warn you that it's happening so they don't feel guilty. I don't think guilt factors in for them at all. Did you guys see my story on my Pokemon Instagram? I thought that was funny. The Hello Kitty, the Hello Kitty car. Adam says what they did accomplish as a new TCG was pretty impressive, though. I agree. I mean, Metazoo, for all these indie Kickstarter TCGs that have popped up and failed over the past couple of years, Metazoo was one of the biggest ones and really had a lot of staying power compared to some of the other ones. Yeah, I thought that story was funny as fuck. But yeah, it's kind of sad. I mean, how many weeks has it been since the announcement that Mike posted? Has it been a month? Has it been an entire month now? And we basically still heard nothing. All reverses from the release event box for first edition. Nick, do you think that that raccoon would have been nice to Cheddar, or do you think it wanted to eat Cheddar? So that raccoon, I think, may have been nice to Cheddar. That's the only. So I have all these fucking raccoons that come to my yard on a nightly basis. That particular raccoon has been my longest running visitor. He's been coming for about 2 years, and I can recognize him by the fact that he's the only raccoon that stands up on his hind legs, and he's missing a big chunk out of his ear. I named him Chauncey, but I recognize him, and it's been a few months since I've seen him. I was worried that, he got hit by a car or he died or whatever. They started coming back, and I used to, when I was dating Christina, we used to open up the door, and I would cook hot dogs, and I would feed him a hot dog out of my hand, and he wouldn't bite, he wouldn't snarl or try to bite the hot dog out of my hand. He would reach out his little hands and like very delicately take the hot dog out of my hand and then walk away to eat it. I think he seems to be like the smartest of all the raccoons that come to my house. He understands that if he stands up by the door and looks cute and waits patiently, I'll open it up and give him, some bird seed or some nuts or hot dog or something. It's like he's trained. I think the real issue would be Cheddar would probably try to attack him. Full Hollow Karami and My Melody from the. That was my last pack of the box lunch stuff. But yeah, he's a special dude. He's an interesting raccoon. I've seen an albino one before. It's crazy. Look, I haven't seen one. Actually, Chauncey came back tonight, did the same thing, and it's kind of creepy because I've got these big, like my upstairs is like all windows. I've got these big bay windows, and I've got these big, like glass doors in all the rooms, like sliding doors to the outside. And I'll walk upstairs or I'll walk out of the shower and I'll be naked or whatever, walking past the window, and I'll see something in my peripheral, and it's that fucking raccoon standing up at the window, like just staring at me, waiting for some food. Like he'll just be looking inside the house, waiting for me to walk by the door or walk by the window at night. And it creeps me out sometimes when he's just standing there with his little beady eyes staring into the house. All right, let's mix it up. Let's do a little Magic Cast here. It's just been a long, long time since I've opened Magic Cast. But now these things, that's the good thing, man, is if you still enjoy Metazoo, it's as cheap as it's ever been. I think Magic Cast, I think I bought this box for $11. And I think at one point people were selling the packs out of here for like $15, $20 a pack. There's 5 packs in here. Now you can buy the whole box for $11. The question is buy now or wait, says Kyle. I mean, if you want to get them cheaper, I would imagine if you wait, they're going to be even cheaper. I think the price will continue to drop especially on stuff like Seance and Native. I'm surprised that I'm still seeing Seance boxes for like $50 and some Native boxes for like $60. I think those boxes still have a lot of room to fall. But like for example, a Wilderness box for $18 is like, I don't know how much lower. I mean, I guess it could go down to $5 or $10, but I mean, if you're only going to pick up a couple of boxes, does it really matter? Starting out with a non-hollow fourth wall. And the prices right now are fluctuating a lot. Like these Karami boxes that we're going to open tonight, I got these on TCG Player for $45 a box, free shipping. And now the cheapest ones on TCG Player are like $55 a box with like $5 or $6 shipping. So the price bounced up like $10. Are you going to check out Nom Nom? I was interested, and it was a combination of the price. It's like $120 a box for the Kickstarter boxes, which I think is a lot for a new TCG. And then this Victor Larson scandal that's going on. Another non-hollow fourth wall. So I don't know. I'm going to wait and see what happens with it. I'm not going to buy into the Kickstarter, honestly. The Catcher, my guy. He says, feel lost. Metazoo captured me. First time I looked at baseball cards in 2 years. Just want to thank y'all for welcoming a sports junkie into the TCG world. Amazing community. Thank you, Catcher. You're a great guy. Catcher sent me my first ever PSA 10 Cryptid Cam Mothman. And in my last PSA submission, I finally graded one myself. I got a PSA 10 finally. So I sold mine, and I'm keeping Catcher's. Yeah, there's like a bunch of people. I don't even want to get into it. I don't know how legitimate it is, but there's a bunch of people making accusations against Victor. And another non-hollow. I don't know how much truth there is to some of these accusations, and it's a big accusation to make with what seems like very little evidence. Another non-hollow. So this was a fucking bad box of Magicast. What's up, Legend of Loot? This was a Magicast that could have stayed sealed. And a Mothman. There were such cool cards in these Magicast boxes. Could they be weighed? Probably. At this point, I just didn't imagine very many people would even take the time to try to weigh these out. I mean, $11 a box at this point. A lot of the singles are not worth a whole lot anyway. I'm sure Victor's a nice guy and all, but I'm kind of done with Kickstarter TCG, says Charles. I agree. Poncho signed on with Chronicles of Arcane. I wonder if some Metazoo cards will have value in the future because the artists become famous worldwide. That's also Yeah, that's possible. What's up, KBDX Tokyo? Oh, wait, what did I miss? I'll be all right. We all go through it at one point. Wait, what happened? I saw your Valentine's post. I must have missed something. Oh, KBD had a breakup. That is kind of funny, isn't it? Lordy Hot Dog says when Metazoo was alive, you were getting like 15 viewers, and now that it's dead, you're pulling 100 consistently. And even tonight, there's really nothing crazy to talk about. We just got a lot to open. And I did gain like almost 1,000 subscribers from all this Metazoo drama, which is big for this channel since this channel only has, what, 14,000 people? Nice X-Fractor Piazza and a Chaos Crystal. Yo, Nick, did you see the newest Godzilla movie? I haven't seen -1 yet. I didn't go to see it in theaters, and I've been waiting for it to be streaming or Blu-ray or whatever. I'm a huge Godzilla fan, though, and I really wanted to see it. I never go to the movie theater, so I just never got around to it, and I've been waiting for them to stream it, and I heard that it was supposed to come out on DVD in February this month. So many closet Metazoo fans out there. I love it. Can't wait for the new management to take over. I hope that's what happens. From what I've heard, it still sounds kind of up in the air. Yeah, I can't wait to see it, man. I'm a huge fan of like the old super corny Godzilla movies. The old Godzilla and Mechagodzilla, Godzilla versus Destroyer. And of course the classic Godzilla dropkicking Gigan, I think it was. Then like Godzilla versus Space Godzilla. There were so many good like 90s Godzilla movies. Godzilla 2000 was good. Godzilla Final Wars. And then it all culminated in in the American version of Godzilla that everybody hated. But when I was a kid, everybody loved the American Godzilla because they were all kids and Godzilla was cool. And Godzilla was in every piece of merchandising that you could possibly imagine. Greg says I loved it at the time. I think we all loved it as when we were kids. When I rewatched the American Godzilla as an adult, I realized what all the what all the negativity was about. It does kind of suck, but as a kid, a big monster movie that's like a blockbuster is always going to be cool to a kid. Preston says, Nick, sorry I missed all the juicy details. What's your latest news? So the two, really, there hasn't been a lot of news, but the two things that happened this week is all the artists that were fired and all the artists that left randomly received a staff medal in the mail this week. And the other news was, I'll show it again, Bear Walker. So Bear Walker apparently, he said in his tweet, let me pull up the tweet. I believe he said we finished it. He says, thank you. I know a lot of people lost out on their money buying stuff from them that will never be fulfilled, but we made a series 2 with no heads up they were going out of business. So they made a second series of Bear Walker Metazoo boards that looks like it covers Nightfall, Wilderness, and Native. And I guess the news is we might still get that, just not from Metazoo. Ernie says, what about Gamera? I never saw any of the Gamera movies. I'm aware of what it is. I just never saw it. But I recently, like in the last 6 months, went down a Godzilla rabbit hole. I started watching these different Godzilla like YouTubers that review old Godzilla movies, and they collect like old Godzilla figures and toys and stuff. And I started going down that rabbit hole, and I started rewatching all the old Godzilla movies, like the real old ones, like the 70s and 80s and 90s. And then I bought all the DVDs, all the Blu-rays. I've got every single Godzilla movie in physical media. And then I started collecting some of the Godzilla toys. The Topps boxes can be weighed. But in my experience, every time that I've bought these blasters on the secondary market, I've still gotten hits from them. So I don't know if people care enough to weigh them or not if they've got a bunch of them. I mean, I can tell you, I've probably bought more sealed Metazoo product than most people if you're not a partner or whatever. And I've never weighed a single Metazoo product and tried to open one that was heavy and sell the rest. So I feel like there might be a lot of people out there that are like that and just like to open it and don't bother weighing it and just open everything they got. Maybe not though. Maybe I'm just. I still haven't seen. I have it on DVD, but I haven't watched the Biolante one yet. Did Metazoo have actual playability? Like, was there a few hundred? There definitely wasn't a few hundred tournaments. It was only around for a few years. It seemed like they put a significant effort into the player base, just not enough. They had tournaments though, and they had a lot of cash prizes that were never that were never paid out to the last, I think, two towers. I bet you've opened slash bought the most next to partners and retailers. Probably. Nick, please explain what a DVD is. Enlighten me, please. So that was, I'll have to show you guys. I'll have to do a video about it sometime. One of my projects, since I've been living here alone, once every girl that I've dated has moved out, I have a guest bedroom, and one of my big projects was I wanted to get back into like physical media. And I realized I didn't even have a DVD player. I had a couple DVDs that I wanted to watch, and I realized I don't even have a fucking DVD player. So in my spare bedroom, I made it like this media room, and I bought like all these. I spent like thousands of dollars buying all these DVDs, like every big movie, every collection of movies, to get them all on Blu-ray and DVD. I bought like this really nice upscaling DVD player. I've got an old TV in there, like a CCTV or whatever you call it, or a CRTV. And then I got a new TV, a flat screen in there, and I made it like a media room for like old video games and Blu-rays and DVDs, just in case, because I live out in the middle of nowhere. So just in case something happened where I didn't have internet or whatever, I could still have access to every movie, TV show, whatever the fuck I want to watch, as long as I can get power. I'll do a video on it. I did a video of the before. I haven't done a video of the after. I don't know if my Wi-Fi will make it up there. But I've got like I used to be really into like doomsday prepping, and I've got like all this different prepper stuff. Like I've got all the MREs and all this shit, a bunch of guns and all that shit, and I've got generators in case the power ever goes out. And so even if I didn't have Wi-Fi, I could get power, and I've got solar panels too. I could get power, and I could still watch any movie I want during the apocalypse. It looks like we do have a serialized card here, so maybe these boxes weren't weighed. Oh, nice. Babe the Blue Ox, and we got a Chibi Mothman. Number 23 out of 99. That might be worth grading. I think my last green refractor Chibi Mothman got a PSA 10, the last one that I graded. I think it's on my eBay right now. It's either green or orange. One thing I've always wondered about doomsday prepping is that when people start needing supplies, they'll eventually band together for those people's things, right? My theory has always been, because I live out in the middle of nowhere, and I've got a decent sized house and a decent sized property, that my family, if there was like an apocalypse situation, my whole family would just move with me. They come out to the woods because they all live like in the city. So we'd have our own little tribe to defend the supply. I've already started looking into the idea. I've been seeing these there's like a big trend right now with these like houses. You can like order a house on Amazon, these little tiny houses for like $10,000. And I've been looking into like putting a couple just like little random cabin type houses on the property. So I've got almost 6 acres. That's one way to spend 10 G's. That was another thing I was talking to my best friend Chris about before I got on this stream. He was looking at buying one and he was telling me the financing options are like insane. Like you can get one of these little houses. I guess they range from like $10,000 to $25,000, but you can finance them so you would pay on a monthly basis. And the financing is like crazy cheap, like cheaper than any rent, cheaper than any mortgage. You'd have to have the land to put it on, but you can finance them for like nothing. Because that's what me and him were talking. He was like, if me and my fiance ever break up, he's like, can I just can I buy one of these houses and just put it in your backyard? And I said, sure. I think that would be the big expense, would be having a place. You'd have to have land to put the thing on, and I'm sure it doesn't come with like plumbing and electricity. I'm sure you'd have to have someone hook that up and all that shit. And I'm sure that's where the real expense comes in, is getting electricity ran to it, getting plumbing ran to it, stuff like that. Metazoo never sent me the past 5 pre-orders. Yeah, that sounds about right. I guess there were probably about 5. Where do you get the financing from? So the ones he was showing me, there's some on Amazon. You can buy a house. It's the funniest thing. You can buy a house on Amazon, and Amazon offers just financing through Amazon. Is Metazoo the firewood for the apocalypse? I could probably put them all in a paper shredder, shred them up, and compact them into logs, and coat them with like kerosene or something, and make these compact like fire starter logs with all the Metazoo scrap. Oh yeah, I agree with that, Steve. I don't think they'll ever have resale value. I just think as a last resort, or like we were talking about in like a apocalypse situation, it could be a cheap option to house a lot of people on a property. Dark Link says, "How come you never changed your name to Nick Strength and Metazoo?" Well, I'm happy as fuck now that I didn't. Right? I was thinking about ironically making some Nick Strength and Metazoo shirts with like a cool, like a buff Mothman design on them, and selling them ironically for like $20 or whatever the cheapest I could possibly sell them was. But at the very least, I might get some made just for me. I even bought and downloaded the Metazoo font from I think it was called defont.com. And I was going to use that font on the shirt to make Nick Strength and Metazoo shirts. I'm sure it wouldn't be something in violation of their trademarks now, because it doesn't seem like they have any resources to defend their trademark. They don't even have resources to print their product. Nick, are you into modern Pokemon? No, not really. What's up, Pokebarn? More moderation has arrived. I don't think anybody knows where Mike Waddell is. I think he's long gone. He took the money and ran. What's up, Speed Robo? You didn't miss much. You missed the Bear Walker news, which is really the only news we've gotten this week that is significant at all. I'll show it again. Oh, we do have 134 now. I'll show in case we have anybody new. So Bear Walker has been tweeting. Apparently, they made a whole second set of Metazoo boards featuring Nightfall, Wilderness, and Native characters. And they say they had no idea that Metazoo was shutting down. And it sounds like they don't know what they're going to do with them. Can you make a shirt with Mothman dropping Mike Waddell from 10,000 feet in the air? I thought it might be cool to have a shirt with Hello Kitty bending over Mike on the back of the shirt. That's what I'm going to do, Scaly Schisms. I'm going to reach out myself. Here, I'll do it right now and see if they reply while I'm on stream. The worst they can say is no. Oh, what's up, Josh? I'll message them. I'm going to message them from my main account just so they see the verified check mark. Maybe they'll be more likely to respond. Bear Walker. Oh, I actually have more. I have more followers than Bear Walker. They've got 79,000. I say, hey, I don't know if you got. Damn, my screen is greasy as a bitch. Hey, I was wondering if you're planning on selling the. Just bear with me. I'm looking through my phone trying to type, so I'm. And if so, how do we buy them? All right, we'll see if we get a response before the end of this thing. I hope they catch Mike Waddell's 10 Krolls. I think we all do. That is what competing bodybuilders' phones are like on game day. Karami's spooky mask. Yeah, my girl is supposed to come over at some point tonight. I know it's like a 5-hour drive, but I don't even think she's left yet. So I'm sure she'll be here at like 4 in the morning, which will be fantastic. I haven't heard from her much at all today. Make sure you guys hit that like button. We're so close to the magic number, 69 likes. We got 49. 20 more, and I'll be satisfied. Yeah, I'm seeing a girl, escaped alien. It's like a long distance thing. She lives in Chicago. And I only really see her like once a month. Josh says 4 a.m. is too late. I'm not answering if it was me. It's late. I mean, I'll be awake, but starting off with consecutive reverse hollows, never a good sign. She's actually never watched any of the card videos. Surprisingly, she's not into it. Full hollow, Chibi Sam. She saw the OG Godzilla backpack and that did it. By the way, Nick, if you ever want to commission someone for art for your own Metazoo merch, hit me up anytime. Are you an artist? I will do that. They really fumbled the bag with gameplay. I used to play often with my friend and tech out decks, even though we live in Canada and it's hard as fuck to get cards locally. I still, to this day, have never tried to play it. Bunnyman Productions says, I've been away for a few weeks. Any new news? Yeah, the new news was the Bear Walker news. Bear Walker on Twitter said they made a whole set of Bear Walker boards for Metazoo, and they had no idea Metazoo was going out of business. Why have you never tried to play, though? I've never tried to play any of the card games that I collected. And I still collect Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And I've never... Well, that's not true. I did play Yu-Gi-Oh! All the time on... what's the game called that they've got on Steam? They've got a Yu-Gi-Oh! There's some kind of Yu-Gi-Oh! Game on Steam that I used to play the card game on all the time, but I've never physically played, except when I was a kid. Josh says, odd question. What was your opinion on the Super Bowl halftime show? It was all right. I didn't think it was the greatest halftime show in the world. I mean, I like Usher, but it was a little bit mid, as the kids like to say. No, it wasn't Duel Links. It was fuck, I don't remember what it was called. But you could play Yu-Gi-Oh! on Steam in like any format that you wanted. So you didn't have to do all the parallel XYZ, all these weird new mechanics. You could play any format you wanted. So I would play like up until ritual summoning became a thing. Full hollow Chibi Lachusa. Yeah, it was a hell of a game, Metazoo Menace. I mean, I don't give a shit about either one of those teams. And at that overtime, I was on the edge of my seat. I'll have to look now. I kind of want to play it again. I did enjoy it. Shit, what was it called? I think they made a version of it for the Switch too. Yeah, the pendulum and the XYZ. It's too much. I couldn't get into that era of Yu-Gi-Oh! Gameplay. So whatever the game was, it allowed you to play in like the original format. Legacy of Duelist sounds like what it was. I almost forgot all about that, so I guess it's not true that I haven't played any of the games that I collected, because I really did enjoy that. And when I was a kid, I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh! Was very simple to play when I was like 8, 9, 10 years old. That original format was like super simple, so everybody at recess would play it, but now it's like all these new mechanics and stuff. It's just too convoluted. And I'm 30 now, so I probably haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh! Physically in person since 2002 or 2003 or something. Oh yeah, there's link summoning too. Do you care if I show those scaly schisms? I was checking my Instagram DMs. I thought it might have been Bear that responded. I'll show some of Scaly's artwork here. There's a frogman, Sinkhole Sam. I think I saw your video, the video sketching this. Graft, is that Grafton Monster? Snipe? I forget the name of that one. That looks like Cumberland Dragon. Yeah, those look good. Mountain Boomer, that's right. I doubt it would have mattered, Kratos. Mike himself in interviews said he thought the game was mostly for collectors. They wanted to foster a community of players. But Mike, in most of his early interviews, said he thought this was something that was mostly going to be for collectors, and they designed it to be that way. So I don't think it would have mattered what I did when I was doing it. I mean, the fact that they put like these serialized secret rares in every box, they're trying to like bake in collectible value. And I mean, the Topps Chrome set, I think, is enough evidence of that. Karami and Chibi Unicorn. But I do agree they could have put a lot more time, effort, and energy into building the player base. I agree with that. But I don't think that was ever their intention. I think Mike always had the. I feel like his roadmap was always to make it super collectible, and I think they tried to bake in value to these booster boxes with like these secret rare cards and these golden tickets and all that stuff. I feel like that was always meant to be the appeal. But like I said, with Topps Chrome, I feel like that's a perfect example of that because obviously Topps Chrome wasn't even playable. It was all about collectability. Can I open a pack with you sometime? Josh, I would love that, man. I forgot to update you guys. I'm getting Josh on Monday. We're going to work out here. I'll try to have some extra packs to open. Chibi Salamander Queen. And for those of you that don't know why I'm still opening the Karami's Cryptid Carnival, even though I strongly dislike the Hello Kitty theme, I think it's a relevant set to open because I think it's the set that killed Metazoo. So anytime we talk about downfall of Metazoo, I think it's a good set to open. And two, or B, because I want to chase that one of one, or not the one of one, the serialized Mothman card out of here. And if it really truly was as short printed as they say it was, if there really truly was only 10,000 booster boxes, it shouldn't be that difficult, as many boxes as I've opened, to pull a card that's numbered out of 131. So in theory, if I'm doing my math right, 100 times 100 is 10,000. So one out of every 100 boxes should have one. And I've probably opened more than 50. I would say, yeah, I've probably opened more than 50 Krami boxes. I'll probably stay on for a while, man. It's only been an hour, right? Like I said, I don't know what time Erica is coming. So I'll probably stay on until she gets here. Thanks for stopping by, Speed Robo. I appreciate you, man. I'd love to pull it too. Nick single-handedly keeping these card sellers in business with these Karami openings. And I gotta have a storyline, man. I gotta have something to be chasing to validate continuing these streams and validate continuing buying these boxes. So I probably will keep opening Karami until I pull one. Nick, what would you pay for an old scratch right now? I don't have one, just curious. Honestly, I wouldn't pay more than $1,000 for one. Honestly, I probably wouldn't pay more than $500 for one. I personally think it's worth more than that, but I wouldn't buy any of these secret rares right now. I would rather open, as cheap as boxes are, I would rather just spend $1,000 on a bunch of boxes and try to pull it myself. What was the high level summary of what happened with Metazoo? I mean, it just boils down to bad management, a lot of debt. They owed a lot of people money, a lot of bad decisions. And I think really, I think they used all the money they had left to print this Karami set. And this was, I've said this before, but I think this was like their big gamble. And I think this was really the straw that broke the camel's back. I think they were gambling everything they had left on this set, and they thought it was going to be a massive success. And of course, as we know, it did terrible right out of the gate. And I think that crushed them. And I think a big part of that was the TCG player cutting the price in half on that collector's bundle immediately because it sold so poorly on pre-order. Which I do have a couple of still in my sealed collection, because I think it is, as much as I hated the idea, I won't say I hated it, as much as I disliked the idea of going in this Hello Kitty direction. It seemed so weird and like out of right field. I think one of the best quality products that Metazoo has come out with is that collector's box, the TCG player Karami box. I think it's one of the nicest packaged products that Metazoo has ever done. So I've got a couple of those just sitting in my sealed collection because I think it's the most high quality thing they've ever done, surprisingly. Like, it was a nice, like, high quality magnetic seal case. I mean, it was one of the better things they've done. Gala was so bad I almost quit. Did you go? Oh, nice, bro. You opened your first Karami and you snagged it for $48 and you pulled the Karami and Mothman. Sick, dude. All right, Josh, have a good night. Crazy, because when I caught Mike in one of those Ask Me Anything Discord chats, I brought up the fact that it's not a good idea to do some random Hello Kitty set over the sets we've been waiting for. I think everybody feels that way. But I think Metazoo really thought this would appeal to like a wider audience, a new audience, and it would catapult Metazoo to like a bigger fan base. And it didn't do that at all. It just pissed off the existing fan base, performed terribly, and didn't sell. So it kind of did the opposite of what they were gambling it was going to do. And I think that's what bit him in the ass. And I think honestly, by this point, when Karami was coming out, they pushed everything back, supposedly because of this set. They said, Legacy and War and SCP, they put that on the back burner for this. And I think the main reason was they didn't have the money to print another core set like War. They didn't have the money to print Legacy. And they were gambling on whatever money they had left to come out with this like Hail Mary set, and it failed. The fake Andy Murat says 31 of the Mothmen are released in the wild, 100 of them, and the sketch cards are in Mike's vault. My Melody and Chibi Iowa Dragon. You mean the real one? I honestly don't think we're ever going to hear from Mike or Andy ever again in any capacity. I think they took whatever money they could get and they're out, and they're never going to face the music and come back. My understanding behind the scenes is Mike and Andy are long gone. Once Mike posted that about Metazoo closing, him and Andy bounced, is what I heard. Oh, I thought that was gonna be it. The Karami and Mothman. Mike B says Fat Harry Potter is gone. I don't know where they are, but I think they're long gone. Do you have a P.O. box? It's not graded, but I have no use for it. The Karami and Mothman? You would send me that? Are you going to be the person that makes me end the Karami openings? Hit me up on Instagram, man. We'll talk. Nick Strength and Pokemon or Nick Strength and Power. Bro went to Hogwarts. I feel like whatever amount of money that Mike made from this, he's going to be sitting pretty for a while. He probably doesn't have to work. He's probably not going to have to show his face. And I feel like we're not going to hear the name Mike Waddell for a very, very long time, if ever again. Do you think cards, both rare or not, will go down to 10 cents eventually? It depends on how rare you're talking. I don't know. I think there's probably several hollows already that are probably like in the 10 cent, like a hollow from UFO. All right, the mic went out. Someone was calling me. I guess I should probably text them back. Let me see. You guys can hear me now, right? It was just because someone was calling me. Okay. Still have not pulled them off, man. Steven Barcelo, my man. He says once the movie comes out, stuff's going to be super popular. I think the only movie that's going to come out about Metazoo is going to be a documentary about its downfall, unfortunately. Yeah, I will say shout out to Cryptid Clash. If you enjoy playing Metazoo, I highly recommend you continue playing Cryptid Clash. Like I said before, one thing that we do know for sure is that one of the companies that Metazoo owes the most money to is the company that created Cryptid Clash, Card.io or something. And if Metazoo continues in some form, it would probably be related to that. Yeah, HBO Max has had some good obscure documentaries like that too. There was there was a Beanie Baby documentary about the Beanie Baby craze that was insane. It was really good on HBO Max. Yeah, for sure, dude. I'll message you as soon as the stream ends. Thank you, Soulless Casper. He says I'll add you, send you some pictures. Yes, I don't collect Metazoo. It was a random buy because of a YouTube video. Mike won't be sitting pretty when he files them taxes. LOL, you know more than you say. I definitely do. I've definitely been told more than I can say because nothing is finalized yet. Really, the only thing that we're waiting on is what Metazoo decides to do. They still have not filed for bankruptcy, and that's what this would depend on. So we really don't know what Metazoo themselves are doing. We know they owe a bunch of people money, but they haven't filed for bankruptcy. There's still two people involved, Shaw and Aoki. And what I know might happen is only going to happen depending on Metazoo. Or, yeah, depending on Metazoo. Because not everything can be shared. And nothing is finalized with what I've been told. Basically, anything that's going to happen, everybody is waiting to hear from Metazoo. That's the bottom line. Things that I've been told about what could happen after that, it just all we're waiting on is whatever Metazoo hasn't told anybody anything, and Metazoo hasn't filed anything. Nobody knows what's going on. I just know what could happen if Metazoo doesn't pay the people back that they owe money once they file for bankruptcy. Also, any news from Metazoo is speculation. And it also depends on if the buyout happens or not. Nothing is for sure. I don't think the Pawn Stars thing is going to happen. I think that was all bullshit, to be honest with you. Oh, for sure, yeah. I will tell all when the time comes. And like I said, it might not happen depending on what happens with Metazoo. If Metazoo does get bought out and the people they owe money are somehow paid back through the buyout, then none of the stuff that I heard would happen. But the bottom line is Metazoo is like not communicating with anybody. The fans, the community, the people they owe money. It sounds like people aren't even in contact with Mike. Do you feel the knowledge creates an unfair advantage for collectors? No. Because like I said, it's not certain. I've only heard something that could happen. The Pawn Stars thing was definitely BS. Steven says, did Metazoo ever put out their message? I've been out of the loop and busy at the museum. They're supposed to come out and say something on Wednesday, I think a week ago. Yeah, they were supposed to say something on Wednesday a week ago, and they never did. So we make it to May and War does not come out. That's it. I don't think War is coming out either way. I don't think that's going to happen. I think no matter what scenario happens, like I said before, Metazoo as we know it is dead. I don't think they're going to continue any of these sets. I don't think Metazoo's roadmap is going to happen under any circumstances. Um, I don't know, TCG Baron. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Are you talking? I worked it out. You're talking about one of the new products in the Metazoo store. I haven't looked at the Metazoo store in a long. I don't know which product you're talking about. But whether they file for bankruptcy or get bought out or someone that they owe money takes over the IP, Metazoo as we know it is still dead. None of the roadmap is going to happen. Green Star World says, I'm just now hearing about Bear Walker. Yeah, it's what a mess, right? What an ice cold box that was. What's up, Jeff West? Tuffy, that was confirmed. Who's Tuffy? No, I haven't. Lolcow says, Nick, have you seen the forum post that may have been made by Mike? The forum was about bankruptcy. I have not seen that, no. Send me that. I'll read it to the chat. Mike B says, Bandai buyout would be good if it prolongs the game's lifespan. So I'll say this. I think no matter what happens, Metazoo as we know it is dead. I've said that 1,000 times. I think that is true. So no matter which direction this goes, if Bandai does buy them out, or if the IP continues through people that they owe money, I think Metazoo will be rebranded, but continue the IP. I don't think this stuff that we have now, all these sets, I don't think they're going to continue. I think Metazoo is going to be rebranded in any, whatever happens. If it does continue in some way, it's not going to be the same Metazoo. No matter what the outcome of all this is, I think Metazoo as we know it is done. But you got to understand, Baron, it's like I've heard a lot of different things, but none of it is set in stone. So if it were a situation where someone is thinking about buying Metazoo, or someone is thinking about coming out with another set, or someone is thinking about settling their debt with Metazoo in exchange for the IP, if none of that has been finished yet, and they told me not to speak on it, it's not as easy as just speaking on it. I know that everybody likes to say, well, if you know something, you have to say something, but it's just not that simple. And half the stuff that I know, I only know because people ask me what I thought about what if we did this. I didn't necessarily give it away. I didn't specifically say it. If you figure out what I'm talking about, then you can draw your own conclusions. No, I'm not saying that, Mr. Sly. I honestly can tell you guys 100% fact. I don't know what's going to happen with Metazoo. I've heard different versions of what could happen. But I think even the people that I've heard that from, no one knows what's happening right now. That's the bottom line. The video paused. All right, so we're doing 30th anniversary stuff now. Then we'll get back into Karomi. But yeah, trust me, I've told you guys everything that I can tell you that seems like that seems like actual news. Reverse Eternal Ice Cube. I think a lot of shit that Metazoo did backfired, bro. Mr. Sly says, I can almost guarantee Bear Walker is walking straight into a lawyer's office about getting some money recovered. For sure. I mean, from the sound of his tweets, it sounded like they finished the second set of Metazoo decks. And again, I think, like he said, you know, we heard nothing about Metazoo going out of business. They commissioned us to do this set. So again, it's like everybody is waiting to hear something from Metazoo. Metazoo's not communicating with anybody, even the people they're working with, the people they owe money, obviously not us, the fans. But everybody's just kind of waiting to hear something from Metazoo about what is actually happening. Because I still think even in the Bear Walker situation, for them to sell those decks, I think legally Metazoo would have to have filed for bankruptcy. I don't think Bear Walker could sell those Metazoo decks without Metazoo's permission until Metazoo actually files something. So the ball is kind of in Metazoo's court. We're all kind of waiting to see what happens with Metazoo as we know it. Eternal Ice Cube. TCG Baron says, so if a fan sued them for failure to fulfill an order, they would have to declare bankruptcy or pay. They only don't go into bankruptcy as they are settling. Well, see, that's the thing, is there's so many layers to this. It like, part of it depends on if somebody buys Metazoo out, like Bandai, for example. Maybe they buy the whole business. Maybe they buy only Steve Aoki's share. Maybe they buy, you know, half of the business and then pay off the debts. We just don't know what's happening. But part of the issue is if Metazoo sells, they might find someone willing to buy them or buy a percentage of them and pay off some of the debt as part of the acquisition. So there's so many just what ifs. Bandai is in the picture. 100% they are. At least to the extent that they are an interested buyer. I don't think they're negotiating a sale right now, though. I can tell you that much. Bandai is 100% a legitimate interested party that is very serious about it. I've already told you guys the Bandai thing. Bandai and Steve Aoki have a relationship. That's the whole Bandai story. But that's not what I was talking about when I said Metazoo could live on through other means. The whole Bandai thing is a Steve Aoki thing. Basically, my understanding is Bandai and Steve Aoki have worked very closely together in the past. And it sounds to me like Bandai's involvement would be buying out Steve. So Steve, I believe he's a 50% owner. And I believe as a favor to Steve is Bandai's involvement. They would buy out Steve and maybe help keep Metazoo going. That's kind of that's the Bandai thing. And Steve, I believe Steve is the one that brought it to Bandai. It's not like Bandai like saw Metazoo and said, "Oh, we want to buy this." I think Steve reached out to them and said, "I want to get out of this. I own half of this or whatever he owns. Can you buy me out?" I believe so. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. How much does Steve Aoki own of Metazoo? I believe it's half. I'm reading the link that LawCal sent me. Oh wow, that's very interesting. That does sound a lot like Metazoo, but you say there's no proof that it was Mike that posted it. So there's this forum about bankruptcy. This was posted on January 29th, 2023. So this would be was this after when Mike made the announcement? Dude, that's interesting. How did you find this? This does sound like it could definitely be Metazoo. Oh wait, yeah, you're right. 2023. Well, 2023 is when these issues started, right? I'll read it to you if you want, but it's a lot. It's a lot of text to show on screen. I mean, 2023, we only got Native and Karami, and almost every pre-order from 2023, including the streamer kits early on, were unfulfilled. So this is a post on a bankruptcy forum. We don't know for sure that it's Mike, but it does sound a lot like it could be describing Metazoo. It says, "We run a small business in a difficult industry that has been hit with a plethora of issues and delays in the past few years. As of writing this, we have upwards of $70,000 in customer pre-orders still outstanding." And this was on January 29th, 2023. They say, "Right now we are fighting to keep the company solvent, but we're most worried about taking care of these customers who have been patiently waiting for their pre-order products. And if the company runs out of money and can no longer continue to operate, should we file a Chapter 7 for the LLC, which Metazoo is, to make it transparent to the customers that the business is no longer operational? I've been told that we could let the LLC go dark by not filing for any kind of bankruptcy and simply stating that the company is closing down," which is what they did. That's exactly what Mike did. "It seems like officially declaring bankruptcy would be the better choice due to the large amount of customer pre orders. In the event that the LLC is preparing to file for Chapter 7 bankruptcy, we we list all of our pre order customers as creditors or only those with substantial amounts of pre orders still outstanding? Or would it be unnecessary to list the pre order customers as creditors at all? I'm very concerned about taking care of these customers, and if it's looking like the business will become insolvent, we plan on trying to refund as many of them as possible," which that part does not sound like Metazoo. "If this ends up happening, I also plan on filing for personal Chapter 7 to remove my personal guarantee from some of the business debts. Thank you for anyone who can share thoughts or wisdom dealing with customer pre orders in a business Chapter 7 bankruptcy." That is interesting. And then the same person that posted this responded and said, "Thank you for this. One attorney I visited said it would be a good idea to do a bankruptcy for the LLC to basically announce to all the customers with pre-orders and deposits that the business is done, but it sounds like there might be other ways to go about it. Another concern is that as a sole member LLC, that some of the pre-order customers might try to come to me personally when the business closes." See, yeah, I don't know if that's true. I don't know. I don't think Metazoo is a sole member LLC. I think Shaw and Andy are both listed on that LLC. Basically, in the social media age, I am most concerned about 500 angry customers rather than a few large banks. Another option I was Another option I thought of was taking out another business loan to essentially fulfill or refund as many of these customers as possible before closing the business to minimize damage. According to the attorney, if I waited 90 days to file after refunding the customers, I could. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, a lot of that definitely sounds like it could fit Metazoo, but it seems. I'm trying to read through some of this original poster's responses and see if there's anything that gives it away. There's another part of his post that continues. The most valuable assets that the LLC has are two vehicles, which could possibly be sold by a trustee for 20 to 25,000. We have a small amount of inventory in a very specialized industry that the trustee would likely have trouble selling. It sounds like filing a Chapter 7 for the LLC would be more time consuming and expensive. So if we don't have to file for the business, that would be ideal. I mean, I don't know. It's all speculation. Two vehicles. I mean, a lot of it does make sense. I mean, a lot of it was like their big issue was all these pre-orders. They said they're in a very specialized type of product, type of industry. And it would line up with Mike just randomly announcing that the company's closing, because it says in his comments he would rather do that than file for bankruptcy if that was sufficient for going dark on the LLC, just making an announcement that the business is no longer viable. And that is exactly what he did. So there's like three or four things there that line up pretty directly with that, but who fucking knows? And the timeline makes sense. That was early 2023. If I have the Mike Waddell Chrome in a PSA 9, do I now owe money? I would burn that, bro. Are people even organized to do a class action lawsuit? I bet people wouldn't even know how. I think we've already talked about this in the past. I don't think a class action lawsuit would even be viable in this situation. A lot of reverses in these Hello Kitty boxes. And the two vehicles thing was asking what are the single most expensive assets that the company owns, and if they own a lot of volume of printed product, that's not like one big asset. So maybe, I don't know. I'm assuming whatever warehouse or headquarters Metazoo might have, it's probably rented. And the two vehicles could be the truck and the trailer that they hauled around for the Metazoo when Metazoo was like going on the road trip thing. That honestly could make sense. If the two vehicles that the company owned were the truck and the trailer that they pulled around, those could be 20,000 a piece, 25,000 a piece. And if all their buildings are leases or rented, imagine going to Target for Metazoo and they're like, oh yeah, that company went bankrupt. Joseph says, did y'all talk about the pink boxes? But would Mike be dumb enough to post something like that on a public forum? Even from the account was anonymous that posted that, but the company does have a 15-foot volcano that could be sold to help pay creditors. Logcow says, I mean, he's a very emotional guy that does odd things. That's also true. Mike jumped into that very volcano the moment things fell through. I don't even want to joke about things like that because honestly, as bad as Mike did everybody in this community, if I were Mike right now, I'd probably be having thoughts like that. And I hope that he doesn't do anything like that. But he's got to be in a low place. Even if he took a bunch of money and ran, the public sentiment towards Mike right now, he's got to know about and he's got to be feeling. And he's got to feel, as much as people hate him, he's got to feel some type of guilt. And he's got to feel like some type of failure because this was obviously something that he was at one point very passionate about. So I'm sure to some extent, he's not having the best time right now. And as many people are joking about him going into hiding, I mean, he probably is. He probably is trying to just disappear for a little while and not face the music. Karami Full Hall. Yeah, Pokebarn says mental health is no joke. And I also think that mental health is probably a big part of why he mismanaged the company so poorly is I don't think he had very good social skills to begin with. Yeah, Scaly Schism says that's fair. And to be honest, there's plenty of issues across the board, not just Mike. It'd be dishonest to not acknowledge that. Especially in the last couple of weeks before this announcement even came out. I mean, it seemed like the main culprit for a lot of this was Andy. TCG Barron says the first time I saw him break publicly is when he got angry at the Native Live event where he was interviewing the consultant on stream. I didn't see that. Oh, shit. Karami and the Black Dog of Hanging Hills. I just couldn't read it from through the camera. Yeah, I would also like to see a timestamp to that. All right, let's see. I've got some DMs here. Let me see if it's anything valuable. Bear Walker has not responded. I don't see the dude that said he was going to message me about the Karami and Mothman card. All right. So Metazoo is in fact not producing more product, right? I don't think Metazoo, as we know it, will be producing any more product. I still think there's a possibility that we're going to see the Topps Chrome Sapphire. I think we'll see what happens with this Bear Walker thing. I mean, I don't know if Bear Walker can sell them on their own, so you might see that. And like I said in the beginning of the stream, if Metazoo really does owe these printers a bunch of money, if Metazoo files for bankruptcy and these printers are sitting on a bunch of product that they printed for Metazoo that Metazoo never paid for, I would assume that once Metazoo files for bankruptcy, the printers would be able to take the option if they wanted to try to sell whatever they already printed for Metazoo to try to recoup some of those losses. So I mean, that's really all speculation. We have no idea what they may or may not have printed. But if there is anything sitting at the printers that Metazoo owes money, if they file for bankruptcy, the printer would have the option of selling that. I honestly don't know what their printer's name is. I know it's a Chinese company. What if SCP is printed already? I haven't heard that SCP is. I've heard people say their printer's name is Bernie Madoff Press. I've heard people say that they heard that Legacy was printed and just not paid for. I haven't heard that about SCP. But again, that's just total speculation. And I mean, who knows? We just found out about this Bear Walker thing. Who knows what other companies Metazoo might have commissioned or set up some kind of partnership with, like Bear Walker, and they just totally didn't tell them that this was happening, and they already made, people like to meme about the Arby's collab. What if Arby's is sitting on a bunch of promo packs and Metazoo just bailed on them? I mean, there could be other situations like the Bear Walker thing. I mean, this is the first we're hearing about the Bear Walker since the Bear Walker drop. Nostalgia Express says Bailey is going to the facility where Zoo is printed in China in a few months, and Legacy is printed already. I don't know that I believe a lot of what Bailey is saying right now. He seems like he's pissed off and he's lashing out at everybody. And that seems to be what's making him feel better. And he's been posting a lot of shit that I just don't know how true a lot of what he's saying really is. I know he's mad, and I feel like he's trying to bring down everybody with him. Because I'm sure it sounds like he got burned pretty bad with this whole deal. And it sounds like he's trying to bring down the house with him. I don't know how much credence I would give to a lot of the stuff he's saying. I mean, you can clearly tell in a lot of the stuff that he's writing and posting, he's pissed off. And you can tell he's angry. He's like typing in all caps. He's misspelling words. He's blasting everybody, calling everybody out. I don't know how reputable anything he is saying right now really is versus just him saying a bunch of shit because he's mad, trying to screw as many people as he can. And the fact that he deactivated his Instagram when all this happened is kind of, he seems a little bit unhinged. I have no idea what his YouTube channel is. I know he streams on Whatnot, and I think he just uses his name, Bailey Boynillo, or whatever the fuck his name is. Yeah, I'm with Pokebarn on that. I think the majority of people here have accepted reality. Like I said, I only continue to open it because I like to open it. I have no issue admitting or accepting the Metazoo as we know it is dead and gone. And even if the best case scenario doesn't happen, if Metazoo files for bankruptcy, nobody buys them, nobody bails them out, none of their creditors try to continue the IP, that's fine too. Malthos Divine says, "Hello, friend. Will you open Pokemons on channel?" Perhaps I will, friend. Yes, actually, it recently became legal, Cheeseburger. I live in Ohio, and weed was recently recreationally legalized. I don't smoke anymore, though. I used to smoke like every single day, but I haven't smoked in like 3 or 4 years. Mike the Headless Chicken. Will you be collecting another indie TCG like you did Metazoo? I don't know if I'm going to be actively collecting any. I'll open some on the channel. A lot of them have sent me stuff. I don't know if I'm going to get invested in collecting a new one. We'll see what happens. Like I said, I mean, we got to wait and see. You know, if Topps Chrome, if they come out with another Metazoo set, I'll put a lot of money into that. I'll open a bunch of that. If another company or another brand picks up the Metazoo IP and they print another set to try to recoup the money that Metazoo owes them, I'd pick up a bunch of that too. And I'd rather do that than sink a bunch of money into a new indie TCG. Because as bad as this Metazoo situation is, most of these indie TCGs fail miserably. They're all bad investments. Maybe one out of 1,000 is going to be successful. And just the way that Metazoo did it fucking sucked, but it's not like it was unexpected. Just buy old Yu-Gi-Oh! I've got a bunch of old Yu-Gi-Oh! No indie TCG is good. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I don't see myself going as hard as I did for Metazoo with some random TCG. What am I drinking? On the Rocks margarita. And of course, it's like condensating on my shit. Which reminds me, I gotta pee before we open these next 2.5 boxes of Karami. So give me 60 seconds. I gotta pee. How did that sound? Was that a good stream? Yeah, that's a good way of phrasing it right there. Lolcow says if you're buying it to invest, every TCG that isn't the big three is a risk. Even products from the big three are a risk too, but what piques your interest? Buy it to enjoy. No need to bring the mic. We can hear. Come for the openings, but I stay for the piss. The piss ASMR. Hey, I made it. I made it 2 hours without peeing. It's a long time for me. I could go grab. We'll see. We'll see after this box. I want to open all these Karami boxes tonight, but. Oh wait, we got some more Instagram notifications. Let me make sure it's not Bear Walker. Oh, nice, Mr. Sly. I don't know if you saw it. I will, in fact, have art appearing in Chronicles of Arcane. That's sick, dude. Nice. My buddy Chris says he's watching the stream in VR. There's no way this dude is going to send me this Mothman and Karami for free. There's no way. That would be so sick. All right. He really wants you to stop ripping. Reverse chibi hypnosis. I would say don't risk trying to submit for the boards. I still haven't heard back, and it's been what 2.5 weeks since I tried to redeem my Revive Sam Sinclair when they supposedly reopened redemptions. Don't risk it. Let's just wait and see. I know several people that have messaged me trying to redeem after they reopened the Revive redemptions, and nobody has gotten their board, so just wait and see. Cojito says, I redeemed with you, Nick. Nothing heard. Redemption is sold out again. Yeah. Don't risk it. Don't get on there and try to do it. Don't pay them anything. Don't pay for shipping or whatever you got to pay for the redemption. None of us have heard back that I've talked to. None of us have got our boards. Just wait. Yeah, so there's 3 people now saying they tried to redeem and nobody's heard anything. So I'd be very careful. I will say, here, let's do this. I noticed a couple days ago, the fucking, the owner and founder of Revive, Andy Schrock, he followed me on Instagram the other day. And I've been watching his stuff for like 10 years. He's from Cincinnati. We're from the same city. I'm gonna send him a message real quick and see what he says. I'm gonna ask him. I'm gonna ask him if he knows anything about the Revive redemptions, if he saw the Bear Walker situation, and if Let's see. I'm gonna see if there were any plans for a future revive set like there was Bear Walker. We're gonna find out Metazoo had the second rug and pulled it again. Oh no, yeah, I know that. I know all the boards that were already printed are supposedly sitting at the warehouse with Golden Distribution. But I'm gonna ask Andy, revive Andy, if there were any plans for another Metazoo set or if they're in a similar situation as Bear Walker. That's what I'm curious about. I also might be a total fanboy, and I might ask him. I'm gonna ask him if there's any possibility that I could come tour the Revive headquarters. I live maybe just based on where he said he's from in Cincinnati. I think I live maybe 15 minutes from where he lives. What's up, Brad Cole? Yes, Wing Pikachu. I did see Rudy's video. Thank you, Pokebarn. I appreciate that. I don't really fanboy over too much stuff, but when I saw that notification that Andy followed me, because he followed me first on my Pokemon Instagram, which has like 1,000 followers, and he's like verified with like he's got like what 6 million. He's got 6 million subscribers on YouTube. I was like, holy shit, is that who I think it is? Then he followed me on my bigger Instagram account. I was like, shit, that is him. Then I started watching. I went back into his archive of videos, and apparently his son, he's got a young son, who is like a big Metazoo fan, and that's how he got involved with making the Metazoo Revive boards. His son was like a huge Metazoo cryptid guy, and that's what got him in the door with Metazoo. I don't know how many of you guys are from the Midwest, but when I was in high school and everybody was wearing, well, at least the era that I was in high school from 2007 to 2011. And everybody was wearing like PacSun stuff. They were wearing like Billabong and just all these different skateboard. Like the skateboard thing was like a big identity for a lot of young white Midwest kids of that era. And Revive was huge where I went to high school. Everybody had a fucking Revive shirt in their repertoire. And Revive is based right here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Yeah, everybody had Etnies and DC shoes. You make me feel old. I was already back from both my deployments when you were in school. I was in high school during the. Do you guys remember? Maybe some of you guys might have no idea what I'm talking about. But it was when I was when I was in high school. The whole it was called. You guys are gonna laugh at this if you don't know what I'm talking about. The jerking. There was a dance called jerking. There was a song called "You're a Jerk," and like all the skater kids had their own like jerking crew. I know it sounds super gay, but people would buy shoes just for that dance. You're a jerk. I know. You're a jerk. That was like the whole fucking song. You're a jerk. You're a jerk. No clue what you're talking about. I got to show you guys. Oh, nice. Our first Sanrio 6 of the night. I'll pull it up for you guys. It was around that same time, TCG Warrior. It was around the Cat Daddy era. Tyler says, I remember well. Grew up not far from you. Cool, man. Let me see. I'm very curious now. Like 10 years. Shit, it's been like 13 years. All this time removed. How many views did that big jerking video have? How big was it? You're a jerk. 8.1 million views. I guess that's pretty decent. What's up, Gunmetal Poppy?
You're a jerk. 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 You're a jerk.
You guys don't remember that?
You're a jerk. You're a jerk. You're a jerk.
And next bet you lose. Upload a jerking video. That was really the only video that I remember. Maybe it was a Midwest thing. I don't know. It was big in our high school. Mr. Sly says, Nick, we're not familiar with your street culture. I guess honestly, it wasn't really so much the white kids. It was like the black kids that wore skinny jeans and were skaters. Maybe it is a very niche thing. It was huge in California. Yeah, so yeah, there you go. It started out there. Oh, so you guys do know what I'm talking about. But anyway, the point was, yeah, raccoon tails. The point was, with like those type of kids, and even me, I had a bunch of Revive shirts. Revive was huge when I was in high school. It was then everyone was like, we went too far. And the crazy thing was back then, those kids that were doing that dance and had their little crews, they were like the popular kids. It's not like they were like the outcasts of the school. They were like the cool kids of the school. Fuck being a varsity football player. It was the kids that were jerking at recess that were the cool kids. Oh, I remember that too, Pokebarn. Got my Vans on. They look like sneakers. I need to hear that again. What was that song called? What was it called? The Van song? This looks like it's probably it. 14 years ago. I literally probably haven't heard this song for 15 years.
Got my Vans on, finna walk out the door. Put 5 on the grape, so you know I'm gon' blow. Got the new pack shoe, bought it right out the door. Holla at the dope girls, dope boys, all go. Man, if you really tight, then you gotta get
Wait. That's Lil B? I didn't know. That's Lil B? What? Is that... Wait, that's how he got started? This is where Lil B got his start? I never connected those dots. Well, that's a good little piece of history. I never knew that. Oh, come on. You guys got to know who Lil B is. Lil B was a lot bigger than the than the jerking thing. You guys are joking. You don't know who Lil B is? Oh, goddamn, Bass God. You fuck my bitch, Bass God. Cojito, how old are you? Oh yeah, 38 would probably put you too old for that. That's fair. You were two full high school classes ahead of me, so I'm 30, so you were two full generations of high schoolers ahead. That would make sense. I feel like Lil B extended to the college crowd, though. I feel like everybody knew. Yeah, when I was like really young, I was into World Industries, and I had a bunch of Flame Boy and a Wet Willie tech decks. But that I'm talking like when I was 8, 9, 10. What was Lil B's biggest song? Yeah, that was my freshman year collecting gems. Soldier Boy was my freshman year, and that was huge when I was a freshman. I remember our pep rally my freshman year for our homecoming game. The whole like student section of the pep rally was doing the crank that. There's no way anybody in this chat does not remember Soldier Boy. And even to this day, when that song comes on, you can't not get hyped. It has such a good that first couple lines. Dun dun dun. Soldier Boy up in the hole. You hated it, Pokebarn? The dance or the song? I liked the song. Even to this day, though, if I were at a bar or if I was at a club this weekend and they put on the Soldier Boy song, you would still get hyped. I wonder how many views the Soldier Boy song has. It's got to be in the hundreds of millions. Holy shit, it's got 500 million. 571 million? Yeah, that was a cultural phenomenon. 571 million 14 years ago. Kiss me through the phone.
Soldier Boy, in it up. Watch it crack that, watch it up. Watch it crack that Soldier Boy, Superman. And watching you. And watching you. And watching you.
Who is Soldier Boy? And what in the heck is that dance?
Who's Soldier Boy?
You! Soldier Boy, tell me.
Look at look at what YouTube looked like back then.
Soldier Boy. You gotta punch, then crank back 3 times from left to right. Soldier Boy, in it. Why me crank it, why me roll? Why me crank that Soldier Boy, that Superman, that now why me crank that Soldier? Now why me crank that Soldier?
You're welcome, zombie. Kyle said, I got chills. Surprised the song is in the billions of views. Well, it's so old. I mean, back, it probably had hundreds of millions 15 years ago when it came out. And back then, barely anybody even got 1 million views. So back then, 100 million views was like a fucking... That's about what I would expect was 500 million sounds about right. I'm sure back in 2007, it had 100 million. It was probably the biggest video on YouTube back then. It came out almost 20 years ago. Isn't that crazy to think about? So is that considered like classic hip hop now? Is this classic music? Man, I had LimeWire, FrostWire, and BearShare. I was like a couple years after. I never had Napster. BearShare and FrostWire were what killed my family computer. What's okay? Here's a good one for you guys. If you guys remember all this shit and you had a MySpace, give me a couple of songs that would play on your MySpace profile. I'll tell you guys back then, most of mine were 3 Days Grace. I had like Animal. I had like Let's Start a Riot. That was the shit that I had on my on my MySpace. And shout out to Toby Keith. Back then, one of my favorite songs when I was whatever age that was, like 14, 13, I had Toby Keith on my MySpace. Should Have Been a Cowboy was one of my favorite songs when I was a kid. Cypress Hill, Hollywood Undead, Beer for My Horses. Yeah, I know. That was a sad one, man. Toby Keith was a legend. And how fucking powerful was that last performance that he did at I guess it was the CMAs, right? Where he performed Don't Let the Old Man In. That was a powerful performance in retrospect. Mr. Sly says, I gotta go to a jerkin session. Peace, my dogs. Thanks for stopping by, man. Have a good night. Beer for My Horses was a good one, too. We got too many gangsters doing dirty deeds. Too much corruption and crime in the streets. It's time to long arm of the law. Put a few more in the ground. Send them all to their maker and I'll set them on down. Wasn't Willie Nelson on that song too? It was Toby Keith and Willie Nelson, wasn't it? Catcher says, did marketing on OSU campus 10 years ago. Halloween Superman costume, made glasses and a bling necklace, and I was that. I was super dat. Great times in Ohio. Pokey Barn says, my grandpa is being inducted into the Montana Cowboy Hall of Fame. Oh, that's sick, dude. JH says, we obviously have different choices in music. What's your choice in music, bro? Three Doors Down was good. I liked everything, man. Was Three Doors Down, I'm here without you, baby, but you're still with me in my dreams. Oh, I guess I'm missing the obvious one. Three Doors Down was Kryptonite, right? Nick, what do you think of Upchurch? I liked him in the beginning, but it seems like he's losing his fucking mind. Some of the stuff that he's posted recently, he seems like he's off his rocker, on drugs or something. Yeah, I fucked with Three Doors Down. I used to be a lifeguard at like the local pool, and the only station they would ever play at the pool was like a station that played like that era of rock. I forget what the name of the station was, but it was like Three Doors Down, Blink 182, Third Eye Blind. That was like all they would play. So I'd work like an 8-hour shift and just listen to that all fucking day at work. Creed, Nickelback, I guess, was technically that era too. I have this weird memory, dude. Cojito, I've got this weird memory. It's so oddly specific. But my mom taking me to Toys R Us and in the car opening packs of Yu-Gi-Oh! Metal Raiders, like 25 years ago, however long ago this was. And in the car, as I was opening these cards, Evanescence was playing that. How can you see them? That song was playing, and I had these packs of Metal Raiders, and I had this red deck box that my mom had just bought me at Toys R Us, and I was opening the cards in the car, and that song was playing. And this memory, for some reason, is like burned into my head. I can remember it like it was yesterday. Yeah, System of a Down was good. What was the song that I used to like when I would work out? When I first started working out when I was like 14, it was by a band called Trapped. I think it was called Headstrong. Yeah, Trapped Headstrong. That was what it was called. Headstrong, I'll take you on. Yeah, that was my shit when I was like 14. Down with the Sickness, that was good. What was the song by Puddle of Mud that was really big? Yeah, I love Alice in Chains. Blurry? Is that what I'm thinking of? Can we get another TCG rip every 10 packs? What do you mean? You want me to rip something different every 10 packs? Oh yeah, Audio Slave was great. That was we're thinking of the same thing, right? Audio Slave was what Chris Cornell did after Soundgarden, right? Is that what I'm thinking of? That's what Audio Slave was, right? What's the song? There was a song, the first bodybuilding show that I competed in, the music that I posed to was by a band called shit, what the now I can't think of it. Chevelle. You guys remember Chevelle? The first I'm trying to think of the song now. I think it was either was it called The Red? The first bodybuilding show I ever did, that was the music that I posed to was The Red. I'm pretty sure that's what it was called. The other one that I liked by Chevelle was it was called Jars. I'm sure you guys have heard this one. This is one of their bigger ones. Now you like my taste in music. And then by Audio Slave, one of my favorite songs, I'm trying to think of what it was called. The I am not your rolling wheel. I am the highway. What is it called? I am the highway? Man, we haven't gotten fucking almost anything out of here except for this one Sanrio 6. That's exactly it, Tyler. Tyler says, in West Virginia, Ohio, growing up, you had country, rap, punk music. Listen to a little bit of everything. That's exactly it. My high school was a lot of country kids, a lot of black kids, and then a lot of like just random middle class white kids, and there's all kinds of different tastes in music. All right, good night, Cojito. Thanks, bro. I appreciate it. I wasn't super into Pearl Jam, but I was peripherally into it. Some of my friends were. But yeah, the Midwest is kind of certain parts like Ohio are like a melting pot, and you kind of listen to a little bit of everything. Like I loved a lot of this like rock music that we're listening to. I loved like Lil Wayne was like one of the big ones when I was like a freshman. And then I love country music too because there was a bunch of rednecks at my school. Yeah, these boxes haven't been the best. Say less. I'll grab. Let's grab some indie TCGs. I've got a couple different things I can grab for you guys. Let's do that because I got to pee again anyway. So let's mix it up a little bit. I've got a couple things I can grab. All right, we're gonna spice it up a little bit. This is from my buddy Steve Speed Robo. Hoping some of that tonight. But we're gonna do some other verse in between Metazoo. Oh shit. Crazy how this community is still alive after the death of the company that created it. I feel like the community now is like stronger than ever. So they sent me this a couple days ago, and I really I really enjoy the artwork on this, the Otherverse collector's box. Just a big old titty waifu on here, trauma bonded. So we'll open up some of that. I got one of their booster boxes there. We'll do one of their packs that they sent me here, though. So Otherverse is basically a lot of titties, waifus, dragons, shit like that. Flame Princess Phoenix Unleashed. Dragon Princess. You got some dragging them titties across my face, am I right? Baby Golem. Spider Queen with the Venom's touch. Flame Princess looks like our hit. She got 300,000 force points, which I'm not entirely sure the mechanics of the game. In a Metal Magician. Yeah, the last Otherverse pack that I opened, I pulled a serialized card. What's up, Cryptid Keeper? New Metazoo Blood here. Baby Golem is cute. It's like, how the fuck they got so much Kickstarter? The cool thing about Otherverse, though, is they've already got Funko Pops licensed and coming out this year. Something that Metazoo said they were going to do and failed to do. Otherverse, in their first year, they've already got them coming out by the end of the year. Otherverse. Let me roll my eyes at Erica really quickly. But yeah, Otherverse has been really cool. They've been messaging me a lot, sending me all kinds of stuff. I got a couple booster boxes of theirs. They've sent me a bunch of promo cards. And they've sent me like basically everything they've come out with. Otherverse looks interesting, but to be fair, Funko Pop makes one of anything. They made a Funko. That is true. I definitely agree that Funko Pop is a little bit oversaturated. But I mean, if you think about it, the fact that Metazoo has done like a licensing deal with everybody, like anybody they could possibly do a collab with, they did. And they said they were coming out with Funko Pops, and they never were able to make it happen for whatever reason. So I think it's impressive that as big as Metazoo was, and it was around for 4 years, they never did the Funko Pop thing, but somehow Otherverse managed to pull it off in their first year. I don't know how this fucking thing opens. Oh, cool, it's magnetic. This is actually really sick. There's a lot of detail here. Cheeseburger says, I remember seeing Mike at a bordello. When I told him I liked Metazoo, he denied knowing anything about it. Wait, is there something in this little... I guess not. Pretty cool, though, if you like titties. So I guess this is the promo card. Death, Brink of Chaos. I feel like Metazoo just dropped the ball on a ton of collabs, yeah. I agree. Good night, cardboard openings. Thanks for stopping by. Shit, these are all full art. It certainly looks like it. The holo is cool on these. Alicia Sakura Healer. Celestial Goddess Vina. Mother Nature Full Power. I like that. I like that there. The little owl on her shoulder. They are all hollow. I think this is like a special promo pack. They're not typically all hollow. I think this is just a promo pack that comes with the collector's box. Flame Princess Full Power. Dragon Queen Full Power. I think he said he would send you a God pack. Oh, is that what this is? Eclipse Death's Dragon. That's actually pretty sick. I actually like that. That's pretty cool. And Butterfly Girl, Forest Guardian. They're definitely good looking cards. Was it numbered? Oh yeah, it is. This is serialized out of 100. Number 39 out of 100. Pretty cool. Was this one? Oh, this one is too. The big old titties Death Brink of Chaos is numbered out of 43, or number 43 out of 100. They're cool cards. I think, from what he said, I think these collector's boxes that he sent me were like, they were a lot more limited than the boosters boxes. I don't think there were very many of the collector's boxes made, so that might be why there's more than one serialized in a box. I mean, this is a nice, I mean, it's a lot nicer quality than a booster box. You've got gold foiling all the way around the box. Gold foiling on the inside. That's pretty cool. Collecting gems. He's all about quality. That's why Kickstarter took a while. He was a BGS 10 collector. He was selling a lot of his collection to fund the start of other It's cool, man. So again, shout out to Otherverse. I've got a couple of their booster boxes. I'll probably open a full booster box and keep one sealed. Looks like a box for an expensive bottle of rum. It does. That's why it's a nice box. It really is. I mean, Metazoo never had, other than the Hello Kitty collector's box, they never had anything like as high quality as this, with a magnetic seal, gold foiling all around. It's like, it's not regular. It's not just cardboard. You can't just squeeze it in. And that was their last product. The back looks like Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I like the backs of their cards. My favorite colors are blue and black, so I really like the back. So yeah, check them out. If you don't want to buy any, at least give them a nice chibi Sam Sinclair. At least give them a follow. Tell them Nick sent you, and they got their they got their money's worth from sending me these free packs. Honestly, I'm not sure where you can buy it. I don't know. I don't know if they've done. I don't know if they've done a release beyond the Kickstarter set. Like what they sent me. I know it's on TCG Player. I know if you go on TCG Player, you can find it. But I don't know if they have any sets beyond the Kickstarter Hidden Void. And I think they're pretty affordable too. I think they're like the Hidden Void boxes, I think are like $60, 50, $60 on TCG Player, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure it is on eBay. So I got an Elven Queen. Dude, that's pretty sick looking. The Chaos Void Dragon. Flame Princess Dragon Unleashed. Moonlight. Astrid Full Power. I guess these are God packs. And an Ice Queen. Oh wait, we got to serialize that at 50. I know the Ice Queen is one of their Funko Pops. One of the Funko Pops are coming out with is going to have this character on it. I don't think Funko Pop is going to be as gratuitous with the titties there. But we got to serialize. Oh, nice. 9 out of 50. A fun fact. Another thing that I was into when I was a little kid. I was really into Egyptian mythology. And my favorite Egyptian god was Anubis. Numbered out of 50, though. That's pretty sick. They sent you bangers. It looks like they did. It looks like they kept their promise of sending me a God pack. Let's do another one. I mean, the card quality of these cards is pretty solid. That's more like it. Spider Queen from the back. Magicians of Chance. Ice Princess. Owl Princess. I like the owls. It's a nice touch. And an Astrid of what? Oh, we got another card. Skeleton Dragon. Pretty sick. JH says, I'm hoping for a Metazoo recovery. Aren't we all, bro? Collecting gems says I took the Metazoo loss to the chin. I learned a lot. I mean, I guess worst case scenario is a learning experience. Flame Princess, Dino Girl with the crazy upskirt upskirt shot. Flame Princess Phoenix, Talia, the Nature Princess. Nice, we got another Anubis. And another Spider Queen. Did y'all catch the Marvel trailer? Yeah, I saw that. The Deadpool and Wolverine. That's gonna be sick. I think the only the only Marvel movies I ever gave a shit about were Deadpool and Wolverine. I didn't see what's X-Men 97. Joseph says, yo, other versus fire. Continuation of the 90s. Oh, that'll be cool. Continuation of the cartoon. Another Karami number 4. I just graded a batch of these. I think I graded 4 of them, and they all got a PSA 10, so they graded pretty well. You saw Madam Web tonight. Wasn't it any good? Let's do another other verse here. Earth Queen, Chaos Reaper, Dragon Queen, Vina, Vampire Girl Full Power, Iron Giant Sophia. I like the artwork on these. Flame Princess Full Power. No serialized card in that pack. I heard they gaslit the girl on Madam Web into thinking she was joining the MCU. Who was the star of that movie? Cheeseburger says Brazzers will buy out Metazoo. The girl from 50 Shades of Grey is the star of that movie? That's Dakota Johnson, right? I can see why it was a flop. That must be why she was on SNL last week. I was wondering why she was the host. I hadn't heard anything about her since 50 Shades of Grey. She did do a really good skit about the Stanley Cups. I thought it was pretty funny. Metazoo Menace is not a fan of frankly collecting. Dude is a weird dude. Does Utterverse have an OnlyFans? They probably make more money doing that. Bitcoin is at 52K. Did you buy back into crypto, Nick? I did not. My friend Chris has been trying to talk me into it. He's been talking about all week that Bitcoin is... Well, before it hit 50K, he's been telling me, he's like, it's going back to 50K. You should buy some. Nah. What's up, Cart Gal? So we've got Sisters of Cephrees, McKeel and Rutherford. I'm built like Rutherford. Owl Princess. Maiden of the Blood Moon. We got a Hollow Spider Queen. Elven Queen Full Power. And a Corpse Queen Zombies Unleashed. Pokemaster James says, I need me a Spider Queen tonight. Yeah, that's probably my favorite one so far. Pokemaster James says, I think I found my new TCG. Yeah, the art was pretty good on this. Compared to Chibi Mike the Chicken from Metazoo. Ice Queen. Fire Queen. Maiden of the Blood Moon. Dragon Queen. They were definitely very gratuitous with the TTs. Dragon Queen. Cursed Samurai. And a Balanced Koi. Are you giving these other verse cards away tonight? I wasn't planning on it, but I can in the future. I've got a lot of nice. We've got a Hollow Anubis, Goddess of the Sands. I've got a lot of other verse stuff to open, so I could probably do some giveaway packs in the future. I'll buy that Anubis Hollow from you right now. I have no idea what it's even worth. I haven't done too much research into other verse as far as the secondary market goes. Still no secret rare moth. Sure, yeah. Message me on Instagram. I'll send it to you. Metazoo should have partnered with Ouija board. Oh yeah, that'd be cool. That would be a cool collab. So the Metazoo warehouse is near me. Who wants the revive boards? I'll go get them myself. Where do you live? You live in California? Oh, you live in Santa Clara? I wonder if they would let you show up with a redemption card and just give you the board. All right, since you guys are liking the other verse, let's go ahead and crack open this Kickstarter box. Maybe one day we can look back on this and say I cracked a couple $1,000 box here. Oh, it's already... The void sticker didn't stick very well. Fire Queen, Death Queen, Chaos Princess. Ooh! Kind of reminds me of the Blue Eyes White Dragon. Crystal Fang Ice Dragon. And a Flame Princess. Yeah, you're right. The art on these is pretty detailed. Definitely looks like a Blue Eyes. I like that. Let's do another one. Dino Girl, Flame Princess, Frost Archer, Earth Queen, Kunai, Goddess Talia, Spider Queen, and a Mother Nature. Full power. I like the owls in this, though. I really do. I was thinking the same thing, man. Kunai with chains. I was thinking the exact same thing. What does that word mean? What does kunai mean? That was one of in the Yu-Gi-Oh days. That was one of Joey's. That was one of Joey's cards, right? Kunai is the weapon. Chibi Wahila. Joey was a thug in Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 0. I bought the full Yu-Gi-Oh! DVD collection for my media room. All right, let's do another other verse. Flame Princess. I'm noticing a trend with these cards. It's almost like a little Pikachu there for the Lightning Princess. Whoever made these cards is a true gentleman. Reverse. I don't know the guy's name that made it, but the guy that I've been messaging, he's the guy that created the game. He's been sending me all kinds of stuff. I wish I knew his name now so I can give him a shout out. I opened a bunch of packs yesterday and posted a short of my hits. Can you check it out? I will. Are you talking about Metazoo or Otherverse? Dragon Queen looking busty as ever. Reina, full power. Mermaid Girl. Dragon Rider Noah. Fairy Queen, Cursed Samurai. Which meta were you opening to revive, or what'd you open, Gunmetal? Let me see if the revive guy messaged me back on Instagram. Nope. Cheeseburger says Metazoo's the best TCG in the market. Umu buying all the Metazoo dead stock product. Karami full. 30th anniversary Magic Cast Valentine's Day box, first edition. Did you pull anything good? I opened up that same stuff at the beginning of the stream, but we didn't get anything. I have the Valentine's Day the heart box. I just didn't open that today. I opened Magic Cast. I opened the 30th anniversary. We opened some release event boxes, some Topps Chrome blasters. Nom Nom is at 300,000 in Kickstarter pledges. It's amazing. I can't wait. I'm still hesitant about the Nom Nom stuff. All right. I'm going to have to go. My girl is here and I got to get beans put away before her dog comes in here and kills him. We'll probably finish this tomorrow night, right?